With the NHL playoffs finally underway, it's time to see who's going to come out on top and win a Stanley Cup. But we're doing things a bit different this time around, as it's going to be a single elimination. And we're going to start with the Colorado-Seattle Kraken series. Before each of these matchups, of course, I'm going to give my prediction on what's going to happen in the actual playoffs. And for the Colorado-Seattle series, I'm taking the Avalanche in 5. And that prediction's so far not living up too well, as Seattle already took game 1. So Colorado's going to have to win the next 4. Early in the first period, Cale Makar's going to be getting a fantastic opportunity, but his slap shot's just going to be slightly wide of the net, just by a few inches. Nah, bro, what were you aiming at? You weren't even close. And just moments later on the other end of the ice, Matty Beniers is going to get a shot off. It's going to be deflected in front, but Georgiev, he's going to make the big save here to keep this game tied up at 0. Seattle would continue to push until Van's going to get a fantastic chance, but he's going to be ringing this one right off the post. Seattle and Colorado would be going back and forth the entire first period, but no one's going to be able to get on the board, so we're tied heading into the first intermission. So the second period, I can describe it as one word: boring. This was the best scoring opportunity. Colorado took 2 shots this period, and I think Seattle took 3. So that means we're entering the third period with a 0-0 tie. Immediately in the third period, Colorado knew it was time to go to work. So Nathan McKinnon, he's going to get a great shot attempt off here. He might have been slightly wide of the net too. It was a great attempt, like he barely missed the net here. This kind of explains why Colorado only took 2 shots during the second period. 3.5 minutes into the third period, the tie is finally going to be able to get broken. Jordan Eberle's going to get the puck in the slot. He's deking out Georgiev, and now Seattle's got a 1-0 lead. Colorado's going to have a fantastic chance on deflection halfway through the third period, but sadly that's going wide of the net. And just a few minutes after that, Burakovsky's going to be picking up the loose puck. He's going to beat Georgiev, and now Seattle has complete control of this game. They have a 2-goal lead with 6 minutes left, and Colorado might be falling early. And with time winding down between Seattle and Colorado, the Kraken are going to be coming out on top in a 2-0 victory as they're shutting out the Colorado Avalanche. Before we get into this next matchup, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 40,000 subscribers by the end of the month, and I won't be able to do that if you don't subscribe. It's free, it only takes a second, and it helps more than you can imagine. Now it's time to move on to our next matchup, and the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. My prediction for this series, I was thinking Vegas in 6, but there's 2 very crucial things I overlooked when betting on this team. 1, the goaltending situation is not really looking the best for Vegas, and number 2, they have Jack Eichel on the team. I am fully convinced that this man is just completely cursed. He spent how many years in Buffalo, and they were just a complete poverty franchise every year he was there. The second he left, all this young talent emerged from absolutely nowhere, and now they're looking like they're going to be a really good team in the next handful of years. I think the Jack Eichel curse might ruin this team, but I still got him in 6. A little over 5 minutes into the first period, Winnipeg's going to be going on the power play. And honestly, I don't even know how he didn't get a game misconduct for this slash. Just look at this. I've never seen someone swing their stick that hard at someone's hand. Nah, but real talk, I don't even think there was a slashing animation. He just shook his hand. And on that ensuing power play, it's not taking long for Winnipeg to go to work. Kyle Connor's going to pick up the puck along the goal line. Nino Niederreiter's crashing towards the net, and he's going to bury a one-timer past Robin Lehner. Vegas would finally get a great opportunity of their own halfway through the first, but Connor Hellebuyck, he's coming up huge, making the massive save. And in the final seconds of the first period, Winnipeg's going to be entering the intermission up 1-0. Winnipeg's going to start the second period off hot, gain some great chances early on, but Robin Lehner's making some massive saves. Vegas would eventually be able to get control of the puck, and they're ready to go to work. Jack Eichel's going to dish the puck over to Mark Stone. He's crashing towards the net. He's going to one-time this one to the back of the net, and now we got ourselves a tie game. But that tie's not going to be lasting long, because once again, Nino Niederreiter, he's going to be found by Pionk, crashing towards the front of the net. He's going to beat Robin Lehner once again. He's got his second of the game, and Winnipeg's back up. Halfway through the second period, Vegas is pushing once again. Phil the Throw is going to be bringing the puck into the offensive zone, and he's going to find Jack Eichel, who's able to split in between the defenders, and he's going to bury this one to tie this game up once again. And Eichel wasn't done there, because early in the third period, he's going to get another fantastic chance, but Hellebuyck, he's coming up strong, and he's making the big save. And honestly, that was the best chance between these 2 teams in the third period, so we're going to be entering overtime in a 2-2 tie. Halfway into the extra frame, Winnipeg's going to get a breakaway, but Robin Lehner, he's going to be making the big save like usual. And in the final seconds of the period, with Vegas on the power play, Pietrangelo is going to bring the puck into the zone. Nobody's picking this man up. He's going glove side on Hellebuyck, and he's going to end this game for Vegas. Moving on to our next matchup, we got the Boston Bruins taking on the Florida Panthers. So me personally, the Boston Bruins are my Stanley Cup favorite, and I mean, it shouldn't really be that big of a surprise. Like, how can you bet against this team? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had Boston winning in 4. I had them sweeping the Florida Panthers. I didn't see this team competing with them, but then they won the other night. So the series is tied 1-1, so clearly Boston isn't gonna complete the sweep, but I just don't see Florida beating them in 4 games. I just can't see it happening. It shouldn't be a surprise, but the high-powered offense of Boston's getting started early in this game, as Tyler Bertuzzi is gonna be going far side on Bobrovsky to get Boston on the board early. And the Boston Bruins, they wouldn't be done there. Patrice Bergeron's going to get a shot on net. It's going to get blocked. Brad Marchand's going to pick up the loose puck, and he's going to be beating Sergei Bobrovsky to give Boston a 2-0 lead. And those two goals are going to be the only ones of the period, so Boston's entering the intermission with a 2-0 lead. There wouldn't be as much offense in the second period, but we're still going to be seeing a goal as Patrice Bergeron, he's going to get a shot off on net. He's picking up his own rebound, and now Boston's got a 3-0 lead, and they're not blowing this one, I can tell you that. And the Boston Bruins just aren't done yet. A minute 30 later, they're going to be on the power play. Brad Marchand's going to work his way towards the front of the net. The defender's not picking him up. He's one-timing this into the net, and it's 4-0 now. This game's over. But maybe I spoke too soon, because with 2 minutes left in the period, Carter Hagel's going to get a shot off. It's going to get deflected, and somehow it's being Linus Ullmark, and Florida's finally picked up their first of the game. And they're not going to stop there, because with 50 seconds left in the game, they're bringing the puck into the zone. Smith is going to put one to the back of the net, and now this game's getting a bit competitive. Not going to lie, I'm capping incredibly hard right now. Boston's not blowing this lead. Charlie Coyle is going to bury the empty netter, and that's given Boston 5 goals on the game, and they're taking down Florida. Moving on to the Carolina and Islanders series, this is one matchup I think is going to go to 7 games, and I have Carolina coming out on top. But there's no way this team's making it past the second round now that everyone on that team's hurt. Seshnikov and Patre are already out, but we already knew that. And then Timo Teravainen broke his hand last game, so he's now out. With all the pieces missing on this team, I just can't see them going on a deep run. Halfway through the first period, Carolina's going to get the first great opportunity of the game, but Natchez is ringing this one off the post, so we're staying tied at 0-0. Just 4 minutes though, Carolina would get another great opportunity. No sense going to throw the puck towards the net. Of course, Sorokin's making the easy save here, but he's coughing up a massive rebound, and that's going to allow Puljujarvi to give the Hurricanes the first goal of the game. And that goal from Puljujarvi is going to be the only one of the period, so the Hurricanes are entering the first intermission with a 1-0 lead. Halfway into the second period, Carolina's going to work once again. A shot's going to be blocked, but Jordan Staal is picking up the rebound. With Sorokin out of position, Stahl's going to get a backhander off. He's beating him, and now Carolina's got themselves a strong 2-0 lead. But that lead's not going to last long as Zizekas is going to pass it to Clutterbuck, but it's going to be intercepted. And then a bunch of nonsense is going to happen, and the Islanders are picking up a goal here. I don't even know how to describe this, but yeah, the Islanders have made this a 1-goal game. And that's not going to be the only goal of the period for the New York Islanders. As Brock Nielsen, he's going to go far side, and Freddie Anderson, he's beaten him, and now this game is tied at 2-2. The third period would be all Carolina, as this team would get so many opportunities to score a goal. And that includes this chance with 40 seconds left, as Jarvis is going to tip the puck towards the net, but Sorokin's coming up huge to keep this game tied, so that means we're going to be headed to overtime in a 2-2 tie. But one extra period is not going to be able to settle this game, and now we're headed to double overtime. A little over 6 minutes into double overtime, Natchez is going to send the puck over to Jarvis, who's going to try to deflect this one to the back of the net. He's going to miss the pass, but that's going to allow him to pick up the puck behind the net, and while he wraps around the net, he's going to find Teravainen breaking away from a defender. He's beating Sorokin, and the New York Islanders are going to be falling to the Carolina Hurricanes in double overtime. The next matchup we have is the Dallas Stars taking on the Minnesota Wild. This is another series that I believe could really go either way, but in saying that, I think I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars. I like a lot of their young players. They got a good core around them, and the other thing I believe is going to help them, they're not rotating their goalies. What was Minnesota thinking? How many saves did Gustafsson make in game 1? 51 or something? Run it back with him. I don't understand what the thought process of going with Fleury was. I understand, oh, we did this in the entire regular season. This isn't the regular season. This is the playoffs. Name me one NHL team that's rotated goalies the entire playoffs and then has won the Stanley Cup. There might be one team in history, maybe 2. I don't know. I'm not an NHL history guy. I'm just going to say that right now. But you had a goaltender play absolutely phenomenal, and then you won game 1. You rewarded him by sitting him on the bench. What were you thinking? Like, what was the thought process and all that? There wasn't much offense seen between these two teams in the first period, so we're going to enter the first intermission in a 0-0 tie. Early in the second period, Dodonov's going to be bringing the puck into the zone. I don't know what Kirill Kaprizov's doing, but he's not going to follow Colin Miller whatsoever. He's going to allow this man to head straight towards the slot. He's going to tee one up, and he's beating the goaltender here. I understand you're not there to be a great defender, but you can at least attempt to play defense. Like, you literally just let this dude skate right past you. And it looks like the duo of Dodonov and Colin Miller might be something special, because these boys are going to be reversing it this time, as Dodonov scoring the goal while Colin Miller picks up the assist. The unlikely duo no one expected. And with those 2 goals, the Stars are entering the second intermission with a 2-0 lead. We're getting late in the third period, and Minnesota's feeling the pressure now, but it's time for them to go to work. Kaprizov's going to bring the puck into the offensive zone, but he's going to lose it as he goes for a deke. Luckily, the puck's going to end up with Zuccarello, who's going to get a shot off, and Jake Onger, he's going to forget that you're allowed to cover the puck, as he's going to allow an incredibly juicy rebound that Zuccarello is going to bury in the back of the net. And just shortly after that, Minnesota's going to give themselves another great opportunity. Marcus Foligno is going to bully his way all the way towards the front of the net, and then he's surprising Jake Onger with a quick shot. That's going 5-hole on him, and now Minnesota's got this game tied up. And with us having a tie this late in the game, we're going to be heading to overtime. But it's going to take more than one extra period, because we have to head to double OT. And in double OT, we got to let Marcus Foligno cook. A nice little move here is going to split his way in between the defense. He's beating Jake Onger, and he's single-handedly winning Minnesota this game. This team was down 2-0 late in the game. They fought all the way back, and Foligno, he's picking up 2, and he's also got the game winner. Now we got my personal favorite series, the Los Angeles Kings taking on the Edmonton Oilers. I got the Kings in 6. If you don't believe me, I tweeted this a few days ago before the playoffs started. I have the Kings in 6, and then I have Tampa winning in 7, but we'll get to that one later. Here's my thought process with this. The defense tightens up in the playoffs. As long as LA doesn't take 900 penalties a game, Edmonton won't be able to score on their power play. If they're not able to score on their power play, and the defense is tightened up and there's less 5-on-5 goals, I think this team's going to struggle offensively. And the one thing about Edmonton, they're not a great defensive team. So they're going to allow 3 goals a game, maybe even 4. If you're going to beat a team after allowing 4 goals, you need to score 5. I don't think the offense is going to be there for Edmonton. I don't think it's going to be as elite, and I got the LA Kings in 6 games. Speaking of the offense at Edmonton, it's going to be getting started early in the game as Connor McDavid's picking the puck up along the boards. He's going to send it over to Zach Hyman, who's going to do a spinning backhand, and he's beating Korpisalo to open this game up. And that's going to be the only goal of the first period, so they're heading into the intermission with a 1-0 lead. And surprisingly, even though Edmonton's a highly powered offensive team, they're actually not doing anything in the second period, so we're heading into the third period with Edmonton still having a 1-0 lead. 8 minutes into the third period, Zach Hyman's going to send it over to Darnell Nurse, who's going to quickly dish that over to McDavid, and McDavid, he's got a quick release, he's beating Korpisalo, and now the Oilers have a commanding 2-0 lead. And 2 goals is all the Edmonton Oilers are going to need, because they're going to be taking down the Los Angeles Kings in a shutout, and they're off to the next round. And speaking of another series I'm very invested in, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa in 7. And based on what happened in game number 1, this could be Tampa in 4. That Leafs team looked terrible. And then Michael Bunting decided to be an absolute clown and take a cheap shot on Chernak. Toronto and Tampa would be going back and forth the entire first period, but we're going to be entering the intermission with a 0-0 tie. And it would take a while before someone got on the board, but finally, late in the second period, I don't even know how Kerfoot was open here. I actually don't understand. Like, was he going off for a change or something? Because how did this dude get that wide open? It just doesn't make sense to me. But nonetheless, Toronto's on the board, and they're going to be entering the second intermission with a 1-0 lead. Early in the third period, the Leafs are going to work quick. Austin Matthews is going to pass the puck over to Mitch Marner, who's going to quickly give it over to William Nylander. He's going to quickly throw this one towards net. He's beaten Vasilevsky, and now the Leafs, early in the third period, they got themselves a 2-0 lead. And to my surprise, a 2-0 lead is going to be more than enough for the Toronto Maple Leafs, as they're going to be shutting out the Tampa Bay Lightning to advance to the second round. Moving over to our next series, we got the New York Rangers taking on the New Jersey Devils, and I have the New York Rangers in 4 games. The New Jersey Devils just don't have any playoff experience. They just don't have any grit and grind in them, and I just feel like the Rangers are more playoff ready. The Rangers also have the goaltender to win them a Stanley Cup, and I just think Shesterkin's going to hold it down for them. After talking about all that playoff experience the New York Rangers had, they're going to come out with 0 goals in the first period, as we're going to be entering the intermission in a 0-0 tie. And just under halfway into the second period, the New Jersey Devils are going to strike first. Thomas Tatar's taking a shot, and Shesterkin's making the easy save, but Dawson Mercer, he's going to be picking up that rebound. He's going to bury it in the back of the net for the 1-0 lead. And that's going to be the lone goal of the second period, as the Devils are going to enter the third with a 1-0 lead. So I have absolutely no clue how to explain this goal. Nico Mikkola is going to take a quick shot, and Tarasenko is going to deflect it over the net. It's going to bounce off the glass at the top of the net. It's going to hit Vanacek in the back, and it's going to end up in the net. So the Rangers are going to be tying this one up late in the game off a greasy goal like that. But we're not done with greasy goals, because Tarasenko, he's going to be scoring a goal from an impossible angle. I have absolutely no clue how he scored this. But now the Rangers are up 2-1, and we're late in this game. But it doesn't look like the New Jersey Devils are ready to fold yet. Michael McLeod's going to pick up the puck behind the net. He's going to wrap around, create enough space to rip one past Shesterkin, and we got a tie game with 57 seconds left, and that means we're going to be headed to overtime. And for the third time in the first round, one overtime's not going to be enough, and we need double OT. And in double overtime, who's going to be the hero? Well, that's going to be none other than Vladimir Tarasenko. He's picking up the hat trick. He's got the game winner. He single-handedly carried this New York Rangers team all the way to the second round. And of course, it's a former St. Louis Blue doing all that, so we really shouldn't be surprised whatsoever. He's built a bit different. We finally have our second round matchup set, as we have the Seattle Kraken taking on the Minnesota Wild, the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Edmonton Oilers, the Boston Bruins taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, so we might as well allow Boston to advance to the conference finals already, and the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New York Rangers. For the second round, we're starting off in the Western Conference, and we got the Seattle Kraken taking on the Minnesota Wild. There wasn't any offense seen in the first period between these two teams, so we're entering the first intermission in a 0-0 tie. But a little over halfway into the second period, Seattle's finally going to get onto the board, as Yanni Gourde's going to dive for the loose puck, and he's beating Marc-Andre Fleury. I'm just going to keep it a stack, my guy. That was OD. You did not need to do all that extra work. You could have just tapped that into the back of the net. And the Kraken aren't looking back after that, because 4 minutes later, Jamie Alexiat's going to get a shot off. Fleury's making the save, but that's going right to Morgan Geekie, who's going to bury the rebound. And with the 2-0 lead heading into the the third period, Seattle looks like they have control of the game. But maybe not, because with 13 minutes left in the game, Nyquist is going to take over, and he's going to go from end to end, working all the way to the offensive zone. He's going to send to Matt Boldy, who's going to bury this one to keep this game close. And in the final minute of the third period, off a Schultz turnover, Sundqvist is going to be picking up the puck, and he's going 5-hole on Martin Jones, and he's going to be sending this game to overtime. Late into the extra frame, Jared McCann's going to find Jordan Eberle driving towards the net. He's going to skate too far, so he's going to have to wrap around. He's going to find Burakovsky. That's going to allow him to score the winner, and Sal's off to the conference finals. Heading over to our other Western Conference matchup, we got the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Just 3 minutes in, Pietrangelo is going to try to find Marchessault on the doorstep, but that's going to be deflected by Bouchard. He's going to gain control of it and then put that in his own net for the own goal, and Pietrangelo, he's going to be taking credit for that goal. I have a feeling this is going to be a high-scoring game as Connor McDavid's entering the offensive zone. He's going to send that over to Derek Ryan, who's taking a shot. Draisaitl is going to crash towards the net. He's going to capture the loose puck, and he's going to tie this game up. 5 minutes after that goal, Vegas is going to get another opportunity of their own. Eichel's going to secure the puck along the boards, and he's ready to go to work. He's going to dish that over to Whitecloud, who's going to get a shot off, but it's getting blocked. Mark Stone's going to secure the loose puck, and on a spinning move, he's going to beat the goaltender, and Vegas has the lead once again. And the offense from the Golden Knights isn't done there, because just 1 minute later, they're ready to go to work again. Riley Smith's going to find Barbashev beating the defense. He's working towards the net. He's beating the goaltender, and Vegas has got 3 in the first period, and they're entering the intermission with a 3-1 lead. It's time for Edmonton to get the offense going, and Connor McDavid knows he has to be the one leading the way. He's bringing the puck into the offensive zone where he's going to find Warren Foegele. He's going to quickly dish that over to Nugent Hopkins, who's going to 1-tee that one into the back of the net to keep Edmonton in this game. 4 minutes after that goal, Edmonton's ready to go to work once again. Warren Foegele's going to free the puck along the boards where Bukestad's picking it up. He's going to dish it right back to Foegele, who's going to find Kaori Yamamoto crashing towards the net, and with no one defending Yamamoto, he's going to pot this one to the wide open net. After the offensive barrage in the first 2 periods, we're going to head into the third, and neither team is going to be scoring, so that means we're going to need overtime to settle this one. And the common overtime theme is going to continue into this game, as one OT isn't going to be able to settle it. We have to head to a second one. Halfway into the second overtime, Edmonton's winning the face-off in the offensive zone. Waugh's going to put a bunch of pressure on CC, and he's going to turn it over to Phil Kessel. Kessel's going to quickly give it over to Waugh, and they're going to go back and forth here, and Waugh, he's going to have a great opportunity. He's burying the winner here, and Vegas, they're going to be taking on Seattle in the conference finals. With the West secured, it's time to head over to the East, where we have the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Boston Bruins. 6 minutes into the game, Luke Schenn's looking to break the puck out of the zone. He's going to send an absolute rocket over to Tyler Bertuzzi, who's going to tee this one up over Samsonov, and Boston's getting on the board early. It wouldn't take long for Toronto to respond though. Liljegren's going to feed it over to Wayne Simmons because for some reason he's playing. I have no clue why he's playing, but according to EA, these are the best lines from Toronto, so they're going to have him in the game. Toronto scoring, by the way, but just thought I'd mention that. And it seems like one goal wasn't enough for the Toronto Maple Leafs because they're pushing once again. A feed from Tavares to O'Reilly's going to slide Allmark out of position. So when he dishes that over to Michael Bunting, he's going to have a wide open net to bury this one into. Late in the first period, Boston's going to have a power play, and they're immediately going to go to work. Bergeron's going to win it back to McAvoy, and he's immediately going to send it over to Pasta, and with that quick release, he's beating Samsonov, and he's tying this game up. In the second period, Wayne Simmons continues to be the hero for the Leafs, as he's going to be cooking a defenseman. He's going to send it over to Lafferty, and he's beating the goaltender. Sims has got his second assist of the game, and who would have thought Wayne Simmons would be the savior for this team? Never would have guessed that one. 2 minutes after that goal, William Nylander is going to enter the offensive zone with the puck, and then he's going to send it around the net. Mitch Marner is going to beat everyone to the puck, and then he's going to send it over to Morgan Riley. Some elite passing is going to allow Austin Matthews to get wide open, and he's going to tuck this one past Allmark, and the Leafs now have a 4-2 lead. The Bruins would continue to put on some pressure, but they wouldn't be able to bury one this period, so Toronto's going to be entering the third period with a 2-goal lead and a chance of beating the Boston Bruins. That's how you know it's a simulation, because that would never happen. Halfway through the third period, time's running out for Boston, so they got to make some moves quick. Hall's going to send it over to Carlo, who's quickly dishing it off to Grzelcyk. And then Hall's going to get open in the slot. He's going to get enough time to rip one past Samsonov, and he's keeping this game close. But it looks like time just wasn't on the Bruins side, because the Leafs are going to be able to hold off the Boston Bruins, and they're advancing to the conference finals. Before we head to the conference finals though, we got to figure out who they're playing, and we got the New York Rangers matching up against the Carolina Hurricanes. Early in the first period, the New York Rangers are ready to get the offense going, and they're going to put countless shots on Freddie Anderson until he's unable to stop them all, and the Rangers are going to be getting on the board first. That was the lone goal in the first period, so we're entering the second period with the Rangers having a 1-0 lead. And the St. Louis factor for the Rangers continues to be a huge factor, as Vladimir Tarasenko is going to be picking the puck up. He's on a breakaway, and of course he's beating Frederick Anderson. He's got another postseason goal, and so far he's carrying the way for these boys. Carolina would finally be able to get on the board early in the third period, as Jacob Slavin's securing the puck along the boards. He's going to be able to get past the defender, and then he's going far side on Shesterkin to keep this game close. Just moments later, Pacioretty is getting a shot, but it's going to be deflected into the corner. Brett Burns is going to go retrieve that puck and give it right back to Pacioretty, and this time around, he's not missing. He's beating Shesterkin, and this game's all tied up. No more goals will be scored in the third period, so that means we're going to be heading into overtime. And in the final minute of overtime, this is possibly the worst way to end this game. It's going to be an own goal after a Zibanejad shot. Yeah, they're losing in the second round because of an own goal. You hate to see it, you really do. But here we are in the Conference Finals, the Seattle Kraken are going to be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights, the two newest teams in the league. And over in the Eastern Conference, we got the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the New York Rangers. We're going to start in the Western Conference, so we got Vegas taking on Seattle. Although over halfway into the first period, William Karlsson's going to have a couple shots blocked, but Waugh is securing the loose puck and he's beating the goaltender to give Vegas the first goal of the game. And that goal from Waugh is going to be the only goal of the first period, so we're entering the first intermission with Vegas having a 1-0 lead. Seattle's finally going to be able to get on the board. Vince Dunn's going to take a slap shot from the point, and Andrei Burakovsky, for some reason, this dude always seems to be in the right spot at the right time, and he's going to even this game up. The third period is going to be a scoreless one between these two teams, so now we're headed to overtime. And off the ensuing faceoff, Adam Larsson's entering the offensive zone. He's going to find Jordan Eberle breaking towards the net. He's beaten Robin Leonard 25 seconds into overtime, and Seattle, they're off to the Stanley Cup Final. First, we got to figure out who they're going to be playing, so we got the Rangers and Toronto Maple Leafs to watch next. The first period would be a scoreless one between these two teams, and so is the second period, so we're not going to see any offense until the third period. And here we are halfway through the third period. David Kamp's going to send it over to Cal Yarncrow. Yarncrow's going to get a shot off, but Kamp, he's going to be in the right spot at the right time. He's going to bury this goal, and Toronto's scoring first. That goal from David Kamp's going to end up being the winner, but Alexander Kerfoot, he's going to pot an insurance goal from the Leafs, but they're not going to need that, and they're off to the Stanley Cup Final. And here we are, the Stanley Cup Final, the Seattle Kraken taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Who would have thought we would see these two teams here? Because I definitely wasn't. There wasn't a ton of offense game going on during the first period as we're entering the intermission scoreless. But finally, something's happened in the second period. With only 3 minutes left, Jared McCann's got a breakaway, and he's going to be beating Samsonov, and he's giving Seattle the lead late in the second period. The offense from Toronto, though, that refuses to be stopped. Austin Matthews is going to pick up the puck along the boards, and he's going to find an open William Nylander. He's going to get a shot off, but we're going to have a loose puck in front of the net. Mitch Marner is going to crash right into the goaltender, and that loose puck's going to end up in the back of the net. But of course, this is going to get waved off because it's goaltender interference. And I mean, it's not really that difficult to see. I mean, Mitch Marner clearly pushes the defenseman into the goaltender, so I mean, there's nothing really up for debate there. Psych, they're calling that one back. Toronto scoring a good goal here somehow. I have absolutely no clue how, and this game's evened up. Late in the third period, the man, the myth, the legend, Andrei Burakovsky is going to be taking the puck up, and he's going to hand the puck over to Jared McCann, who's only about 3 inches away from him. Somehow that little handoff from Burakovsky is going to be a fantastic move, as Jared McCann's ripping one past Samsonov, and Seattle's now got a 1-goal lead with only 6 minutes left in the game. But it looks like 6 minutes is too much, because with 1 minute left in the game, the hero Wayne Simmons is going to dish it to Aston Reese. He's beaten Martin Jones here, and now we're headed to overtime. How is Wayne Simmons always the hero? It makes no sense. Bro's not even in the lineup, but he's showing out in this game. Early into overtime, Seattle's breaking out their own zone, and Jared McCann's entering the offensive zone with the puck. He's going to quickly dish out to Jordan Eberle, and with Jordan Eberle gaining enough time and space, he's beaten Samsonov, and the Seattle Kraken, they're Stanley Cup champions in a single elimination tournament. And who would have seen this coming? But we have to remember, it's single elimination, and absolutely anything can happen.